lit Reynolds Coliseum right here in Raleigh, North Carolina, where it's the annual Pink Meet. We're kicking off week 6 of the gymnastics season, where the NC State Wolfpack is taking on ACC rival, the Pittsburgh Panthers. We're in a showdown with some standout performances between these two teams. Good afternoon, I'm Rachel Garland alongside Sydney Sneed, who's going to be breaking everything down for us. And Sydney, tell us what we can expect out of these two teams.
Yeah, well, now that we're in the middle of season, all of those small details are really going to count. So both teams are going to be looking for where they can find and gain that extra 10 throughout each routine.
Absolutely, and both teams have some rock star athletes that we are going to take a look at. Tell us a little bit about Jalea Bedminster.
What a powerhouse athlete for this Pitt team. She has such explosive and dynamic gymnastics. We're going to see a lot from her tonight, so really excited about that. And also, she was an NCAA regional qualifier on floor. Notice the huge tumbling there, so I'm really looking forward to watching her later today.
Most definitely, and looking to bring her team to the regional competition this year as well. But nobody can forget Chloe Negretti.
Absolutely. One of my favorite gymnasts to watch this year. Just the consistency and the confidence she exudes is unmatched. What a hard worker as well. I'm excited to watch her tonight just continue to do great things for this Wolfpack gymnastics team.
Absolutely, and I know she's excited to finish up her collegiate career with this Wolfpack team. So as we get started, NC State ranked 20th in the country is going to be starting on the vault. Pittsburgh is going to be starting on the bars, and they are led by head coach Casey Joe, that we will get to meet a little bit later on. And NC State led by head coach Kim Landris in her 8th season. Take a look quick here at Casey Joe McPherson in her 2nd season with this Pittsburgh team. And she's got a slate of other assistant coaches, 2 of those also in their 2nd season. Here you see head coach Kim Landris, the ACC regular season winners and conference champions last year, but inching on the door of Cal and Stanford for this 2025 season.
Yeah, it's been really fun to see the new schools in the conferences this year. So I feel like it's just leveled up the gymnastics as a whole, and it's been a lot of fun to watch.
It definitely has leveled up. We mentioned Cal and Stanford. Actually, 5 out of the 6 ACC teams are ranked in the top 25. And Pittsburgh just outside those, but still in the top 36 that would make it to that regional qualification. So again, NC State's going to get started on the vault. Meg Adler is the leadoff person in all 3 events that she'll be competing on today, and Pitt will be starting on the uneven bars. Meg Adler, she is a junior out of Chapel Hill, North Carolina, so just right down the road. Appeared in every meet for the Wolfpack on several events for last season, and then even so far this season as well.
One thing to note too, just on the vault, is a couple of things the judges are looking for. They want to see the big amplitude off the table, the tight body position in the air, and then that landing, the controlled chest up, feet not moving, holding for more than a second. So we can see those point of emphasis right there, but getting started with their Yurchenko full. Really nice big vault to start out this lineup. Almost had that stick, kind of stayed in place from our angle. That's what it looked like. We'll take another look right here. Love that height and just the way she's able to lay out throughout, and then barely moves her feet there. So that's going to be a good leadoff score for them.
And vault is such a hard event to stick because you've got so much momentum, so much dynamics and power coming in. To make that stop immediately is actually really difficult. So there you see Kennedy Duke for the Panthers on the uneven bars. The Panthers, uniquely enough, have quite a few individuals that are international gymnasts.
So far on this bar routine, you can see she did that release move up to the bar and then went right back down to the low bar. That is a requirement that we'll see throughout all of these bar routines. And then she does a blindfold to a double tuck to finish. Takes a step back, so that's going to be a deduction there, but again, a hit routine to start out this lineup.
Definitely a fun little dance out of this Panther team to start the meet off. Duke, actually one of the only Panthers to claim individual titles in the all-around last season, which for her were also some of the team highs, going above 39 in both of those. Up next on vault for the Wolfpack, this is Ava Myers, one of the freshmen.
Getting ready to go here. Wow, what a really explosive vault there as well. Notice the distance she got from the table to the landing. That is something that the judges do look at, and so nicely done here. Can see just great form throughout as well. It's able to break out, had too much power, so had to take that hop back, which will be a deduction. But again, that is an easier fix. It's better to have too much power.
Absolutely. Ava making her vault debut for this Wolfpack team. We'll see her again on the uneven bars. But a great opportunity, and again, a nice initial vault being put into this lineup. This is going to be Jordan Ewing for, oh sorry, Jalea Bedminster going.
Starting off strong with those handstands. A lot of judges are going to want to see those handstands on top of the bar throughout the routine. The good form, which is legs straight, feet glued together, toes pointed. And then those dismounts, you're going to hear us talk about sticks a lot. Almost held on to it.
Tried so hard.
Couldn't quite get that stick, but again, another hit routine. We'll take another look here. Double layout dismount. I really like the height she gets as she releases off the bar and then is able to land that, but unfortunately comes up a little short from a stick.
Yeah, and both coaches, again, as we move later into the season, those sticks are really going to play into it. You see meets coming down to a tenth, even a half of a tenth within the competition, and that's a hop on a landing. Lauren Wright going for the Wolfpack.
Another Yurchenko fall. We've seen a couple of these so far today. That does start from a 995 start value. So when we talk about that 10-0, that's that half a tenth that they're missing out on there. So it's really important to have those clean vaults. The execution's got to be there, and then again, that landing. So nice job throughout. I love the form on the Yurchenko fall in the air. Again, didn't quite get that stick that they're looking for, but solid vault so far.
Absolutely, and it did not compete as a freshman and has been a staple in this vault lineup since the beginning of the year. Julia Madso for the Panthers, again, another one out of Norway. Madso actually making her debut on bars for this season, though she did compete on this event last year.
So far, nice moving bar routine. You can see a little bit short on some of those handstands, so that will be a deduction. And unfortunately, just was a little bit loose, it looked like, on that handstand. It's really difficult when some of your body's going the opposite direction. It's hard to be able to pull that back in to be able to save it. So we can see here, it looks like she was trying to be aggressive with it, which is always a good thing. But looks like her feet did not get over the bar enough. So unfortunately, fell on that, which will be a 5/10 deduction.
So now this will absolutely be the routine that Pittsburgh is looking to drop. So for those that are new to gymnastics, there are 6 gymnasts in the lineup, but only the top 5 scores count. So this can be the drop score. However, it's going to put a lot of pressure on the rest of the team to make sure that they do hit.
Now that we're in the middle of season, that is something that we've seen, a couple teams here and there have had some mistakes, and they're able to take that opportunity to come bounce back and hit the rest of the routine. So I'm sure Pitt will be able to do the same in this type of situation as well.
Graduate student Krista Zoltovich for the Wolfpack.
Starting off, another Yurchenko fall. Really clean vault throughout. You can notice how she had that hop a little bit backwards. That's what we've been talking about. And really, vault is such a quick event. So a lot is happening really fast. I like the block she gets off the table. Had to pike it down a little bit. And I don't even think she needed to pike it quite as much because she had plenty of power. And then again, takes that little shift of the feet in the air. So far, I've really liked NC State's vaults. I think they've been very clean execution-wise. It's just going to be those landings.
We will harp on the landings, as does every team. So that is one thing that every team focuses on, not only in practice, but within the competitions as well. So you see Madso's score coming in there at the 9.1 as Jamie Pratt is making her all-around debut for the Panthers.
So again, that 9.1 is the score that Pitt's going to want to drop. It does make the next couple athletes, it puts them in a pressure situation, but that is what we train for, right, as gymnasts. And so they are used to situations like this. It does happen.
There's definitely, so Pratt, again, debuting in the all-around this afternoon. She's actually a transfer from Arkansas.
Starting off with that huge release move. Nicely done. You can see she goes that shoot over right back up to the high bar. Gearing up for this dismount. She does a nice double layout and absolutely nails that stick.
That's what the judges are looking for. So when we say a stuck landing, it is zero movement, body control as well.
Yeah, I take another look here. I don't even think she moved. You can see the double layout. Wow. Yeah, she knew she had that one.
So the chain comes out for Pratt on the uneven bars. A great opportunity to pick back up from the fall from Mad. So as we jump right back over to NC State, we'll take our first look at the graduate student, Chloe Negretti.
I see big amplitude off the table. Notice how she went in for that stick. Yeah, she knew where she was. That's a veteran right there. When they're able to break out and just they're ready for that controlled landing. You can see the amplitude right here off the table. Nice job at getting the vault around and distance-wise as well. And then you could see her legs kind of bend to go in for that. So another nice vault for NC State.
She was part of the All-ACC vault team last year, also the ACC Specialist of the Year. And again, we'll see her a few more times this afternoon. So we've got the scoring tower over on the right-hand side as sophomore Emily Todd gets ready to make her start for the afternoon out of Bristol, England. The grade out scores between NC State and Pitt, that is the low score. So those are the ones that the teams are hoping to drop.
And a really nice job, well done by Jamie Pratt, being able to get them back on track in the sense. That is always the toughest spot, following a fall or a mistake, being able to get the rest of your lineup back in the groove. So again, nice job with that.
And Todd able to put up some big scores on this event as well. As a freshman last year, she posted a Panther high of a 9.9. So just waiting for the scores to come in from the judges.
It's always a fun waiting game.
And these are the little things that the gymnasts practice for. So their coaches will throw everything at them as they do some pressure situations within the practice gym.
Starting off this bar team with a huge pike Jaeger. She catches the bar a little bit close. So her form broke on that catch for the release move. That's going to be a deduction there, but really like that handstand that she has on top of the bar, getting ready to gear up for this dismount. Huge pull out there and another stick. Nicely done to end that routine. We'll take another look here at the release move. You can see the catch, how she comes into the bar. Sometimes it can be a little bit scary, but she did a good job being able to play that off and then make up for it right here on this really big dismount into that stuff.
And a lot of times after a team member has fallen, then the gymnasts will pull in a little bit just to make sure that they're going to catch it, not too far away to have another miss. Ashley Knight for the Wolfpack.
Huge, wow, we've been waiting for that one. That was a huge stick. That was a front pike to a half. I think we've watched her nail it like that in warm-up so many times. So awesome job being able to come out in competition. Look at the height she gets, way over, just turns halfway and lands completely upright.
I love it.
Sticks it cold. That is going to be a huge score. I didn't even see her move.
I loved it. We were talking at the top of the broad, like we were waiting for this ball for her to just absolutely nail it. The only 10-0 start value on this Wolfpack team.
Jordan and Faith flipped. Right now we're
Really awesome job there for Ashley Knight. I'm excited to see her score.
All right, and we've got a quick rotation or roster change. So you see Jordan Ewing on the final spot, but this is actually Faith Lero, the senior out of Fort Lauderdale. She was actually going to exhibition and has been bumped into the lineup.
So far, so good with this routine. Really nice job being able to kind of shift your mindset, thinking that you're going to exhibition and then having to step in a lineup spot again after a mistake is made. And wow, she nails it with the stick as well.
That is such a hard dismount to stick.
It is because of that blind frontwards landing. It is very difficult to stick that, but we always like to say sticks are contagious, and that's a perfect example right there.
Sticks are absolutely contagious. So 3 stuck dismounts for the Pittsburgh team and a 9.9 coming in for Ashley Knight on the vault. They do have an exhibition. So this is Reina Gandhi for the Wolfpack. So we've talked a little bit now about these exhibitions where they get some good competition experience, but this score is not going to be counted for the team score.
Yeah, you can see she does that. Yurchenko full, just in the tucked body position. So really nice job there. The exhibition spot is great because we talked about we're in the middle of season. Once postseason hits, the athletes can get tired. Unfortunately, there can be some injuries. So how are you able to handle that? And so the exhibition, having that experience is fantastic.
So a great job for NC State wrapping up on the vault. You see they're just shy of the 49 mark, a 48.925. Their season high was a 49.1. Last week they went 49.05. So they're still right within a tenth of some of their top scores for the season. And they were able to drop that 9.65 out of Ava Myers. We've got a quick judges conference on the uneven bar. So this is in regards to Faith's score. The judges, when this happens, they have to be, their start values and their actual score have to be within a very, very tight constraint. So typically within a tenth or two. And if they're outside of that range, then they need to come together and make sure that they've written everything down correctly in terms of their routine composition and the execution.
Yeah, it's really important for times like this that these athletes are able to stay warm and kind of stay focused, because again, it is hard not to get sidetracked when you do have that waiting time and waiting period. But you would be surprised how many different situations that you practice in the gym for moments like these. It seems really small, or it may not seem like a big deal, but in the gym, sometimes I remember we would have the music super loud if we were going to a big arena with a ton of fans, or, you know, we might have our teammates yelling stuff at us. So again, all different types of situations that these athletes practice for, which is really neat.
Yep, and things like this, you're in the middle of a lineup and the coach says, oh, judges conference, and they put a timer on for a couple of minutes while you just wait there. So
those are always the worst.
But it looks like we are ready. So Jordan Ewing, who has been moved into the exhibition spot. As you see there, she's the senior out of Halifax, Nova Scotia. Earned 2 individual titles last year on the uneven bars.
Starting off with another peg take release. I really like how she was able to still grab the bar because it looks like she could have been a little too far, but it played out really well. And unfortunately on that overshoot, just those feet, sometimes when the top of your body is going one way and you're trying to go the other, it's difficult to save those types of things. It's all about the timing on majority of the skills.
It is, and she was definitely going for that handstand. Again, as we get later into the season, it's the handstands and the landings, particularly on this event. Always a little bit tricky to pick back up after a fall. You lose a little bit of your rhythm.
Yeah, that's never easy either, but dismount, blindfold, double tuck. Nice job finishing up that routine.
So Pittsburgh finishing up on the uneven bars, a total of a 48.8. Some great routines out of both teams as we move into rotation number 2. NC State is in the lead, narrowly edging out the Pittsburgh Panthers currently. We've got more ACC gymnastics for you tomorrow. As you can see, Clemson will be traveling to UNC. NC State right now going to move over to the uneven bars. Pittsburgh going to flip-flop and move to the vault. And there you see there are 5 ACC teams on the road to nationals, all ranked within the top 25.
Yeah, that's really cool to see. It just shows how competitive the conference is and how much it's leveled up with the more the teams are adding. And I think it just gives all these athletes and all these teams that extra juice to, want to go out and compete and get amped up. So it's been fun.
Every coach that we have chatted with has been so excited about the ACC, and then also with adding Cal and Stanford. There you see California leads the way in their first season within the ACC. They actually competed against Stanford last night, and so that average team score of the 197.025 does include yesterday's competition. And gymnastics, there you just see on the rise, like you touched on. Everyone is getting excited. Clemson selling out multiple meets. NC State, their first ever sellout last Sunday versus Cal.
Yeah, it's so exciting for the sport and all the programs as a whole. And again, being able to just watch women's gymnastics and see these teams get better and better and just more additions each year has really been special.
Tonight's participants, you're going to have to stand in the line and link together to create a chain of hands. Fans are going to have to pass the hula hoop over their heads and then step through it. And they've got 30 seconds to get from one end to the other.
Black people have influenced every aspect of American life. Don't believe me? Just take a look at what's happening in gymnastics. For the first time ever, black gymnasts took home the gold, silver, and bronze medals in the women's all-around competition at the 2023 World Championships. And at the college level, current and former athletes like Trinity Thomas, MJ Frazier, Nia Smith, Jordan Childs, and the queen of the floor, Darion Goborn, infused the sport with style and swag. Simone Biles is the GOAT, but judging by the talented black women in the sport today, gymnastics is in good hands.
Number 2 between the NC State Wolfpack and the Pittsburgh Panthers. Both teams put up a great showing on their first event, but let's take a look at these ACC vault rankings where you can see NC State ranked 19th in the nation. All the teams really in the top 30, which is fantastic for all the schools.
Yeah, that's really cool to see. And notice just the margin of how close they all are. That is what we're talking about when we say those landings in every single 10 counts.
Absolutely, and we will make note. So after this week, the teams may switch to their national qualifying score. So right now, everything is being done based on the season average. So taking all of the meets that they've competed in and averaging everything out. As we move into the second half of the season, the average is going to go away, and teams will start to be ranked based on their national qualifying score.
Yeah, that is something to keep in mind as we're moving into the end of season. Not postseason quite yet, but the NQS is going to make all the difference once regionals comes, and those are going to be what each team is really focused on.
Absolutely. There you can see how the NQS is broken down as we get started on the vault for Nika Lee.
She starts out with that Yurchenko full that we've seen a lot of today. You can see the controlled landing she did have. Again, we have not seen too many sticks on vault, but you can see right here, nice job getting the vault around, had to pike it down and take that step. So that's going to be the biggest deduction right there.
So a great leadoff spot for Lee. She's a freshman out of Palmer, Alaska, and was actually the 2023 state all-around champ for her team there. So Kaylee Adamides, she has been in this leadoff spot for the Wolfpack team, I think, since she joined.
Yeah, such an honor to be in that leadoff spot. We've talked about it before, but that's really going to be where your most consistent athlete is going to go in the lineup. You can see she starts out with that shaposh down to the pack from that low bar to high bar release. And then right back up to the bar. It seems like sometimes on bars it's back and forth a lot, so it's really important for these gymnasts to maintain that rhythm that they have. And with a double top, absolutely sticks it.
I love it. I love it. She competed in every meet for this Wolfpack team last year, and so far this year, the junior out of Long Island as a bar specialist. This is exactly what you want out of your leadoff.
Yeah, and you can see right there, she does that stalter into that double back. No problems on the landing.
So 1 down, 5 to go on the uneven bars for the Wolfpack as number 2 gets set for Pittsburgh. This is Jamie Pratt.
Getting ready for that Yurchenko full. Seeing a lot of these, like I mentioned. So what's going to differentiate the good ones from the great ones are, again, that amplitude, the height off the table, the extension throughout, and then that stick. You can see she does a great job extending in the beginning, had to pike down as well at the end, but is able to make it around. So again, there's going to be a slight deduction throughout, and then on that small hop.
And a lot of times they're piking down because they want to make sure they have the rotation. They'd rather take a small deduction on body composition versus a fall. But competed in 13 out of 14 meets for the Razorbacks last year on vault. So a great job there as we move over to Peyton Childs.
And she started with that kip hop into the straddle Jaeger, was just too far away from the bar. Couldn't get that grip. It's hard because sometimes you know where you are in the air and the timing might just be a little bit off. Right there you can see she was able to still hit the bar but just couldn't get that grab.
And because she typically connects that into another release move, she wants to be as far away as she can and still catch so that she has the extra swing. It looks like she's actually going to start over, mainly because this combination gives her a lot of bonus to make sure that she does get that 10-0 start value.
Yeah, it's really tough to have a fall and then have to go back and redo the entire thing.
Is this something that you practice for?
You know, if you fall, it is something that you practice for. I feel like you have to be able to get back up, yeah. Just from that mental standpoint. But so far, the rest of the routine's great. She does that blind full to the double top. And one thing to point out is she did that straddle Jaeger straight into the overshoot. So you want to catch a little bit further away from the bar to give that power to go back, straight back down to the low bar. So that could have been part of the reason why she was too far. You can see, ends with that dismount. Nice job finishing out.
Nice double back there, but again, so both teams had one fall on bars. A little bit more pressure on the rest of the Wolfpack team to try to be able to eliminate that one. As Olivia Giunta.
She does. Now Yurchenko full with a stick. I think that's the first stick that we've seen today.
So, on vault, yes.
On vault, so that was stuck cold, but let's take a look from this angle as well. Nice entry onto the table. She is able to block, and I do like the distance, but that pike down, they're gonna take a deduction on that because the judges want to see that laid out position throughout. But again, really nice ball and a nice stick.
So a great job for Jinta, a four-time national qualifier prior to joining this Pitt team and the 2023 state vault champion for Illinois. So makes sense that she was able to nail that vault. We're going to look at Ava Myers for the Wolfpack.
She starts off with that strong handstand. It's really important to have those tight handstands right on top of the bar or within that 10-degree angle. So far, she's moving through this routine. Looks like it was a little bit short on that handstand, but a really nice high double top. Was able to stick that dismount and come out with the hit routine, which is what they're looking for right now. So again, she's able to get them back on track.
Love it. She's really settled into this bar lineup, competing in every meet so far as a true freshman.
We'll take another look here. Notice that blindfold right there, and then the height she gets and is able to break out.
In the slow-mo, I noticed the leg separation, but I didn't notice it as much in real time, so I'll be curious what the judges do with that.
Yeah.
Kennedy Duke on vault.
I think some people forget that the judges can pretty much deduct anything. So it's very tough. Really nice Yurchenko full. One thing I loved about that was the extension she had throughout the entire vault. There wasn't a pike down right off the table. She had those long extended lines and legs throughout. You can see right here, just that nice straight body position all the way through to the end. Just had a little too much power, so had to take that step.
So a fantastic vault out of the junior as we take a look at Caroline Volk for this NC State Wolfpack team.
Starts off that handstand, has a big release move coming up right here. Really difficult to go, again, from the high bar straight back down to the low bar. That is what we saw Peyton Childs have that mistake on. So really nice job for Caroline Volk to step off and then end with a nice hit routine. And was that a stick? I think that was a stick.
I think it was a stick. The team seems to think it was a stick.
You can see right here, look at the height she gets, and then right back down to the low bar. It's a very difficult combination right there. And then the dismount, she does that double layout, nice body shape throughout. Yeah, that was a stick.
I'm gonna go with a stick on that one. So some great routines out of the freshmen on both sides. As we take another look at Jalea Bedminster.
Nice Yurchenko full from the height standpoint. She did land short, so it is gonna be, that's gonna be where the judges take right there. But you can see on this replay, really nice height. It almost just looked like she broke out too early.
A little bit. Yeah, she was going for the stick on that one. And we've got some celebration from this Wolfpack team. Caroline Volk, a 9.9. So a new career high for her. Prior was a 9.825. Ellie Hadrick coming up for the Wolfpack team. Only competed in a few meets last year, but has really started off strong, competing in every meet so far on bars and floor.
Starts out with that straddle Jaeger. Then we see that overshoot down to the low bar. I really like how she's just swinging. It's like, it's easy for her. Yeah, she's swinging with such ease. And then does that full out. Oh, I thought she had the stick. The smallest little hop right there. But a solid routine for the Wolfpack.
And that is absolutely a huge dismount. She almost completes that second rotation above the high bar.
Yeah, and notice the form, even throughout the Giants, those feet never come apart, and then she's able to drop into that dismount. So
Tiniest little hop.
I really like how they're just on a roll right now.
Elizabeth Cicerone, a fifth year out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, transferred from Central Michigan for this Pittsburgh team.
She's going to do another Yurchenko full as well. I thought that was a really nicely done vault. It's hard to tell at that angle the height that she had. So taking another look from the side right here, which is the judge's view as well. Beautiful height on that and amplitude. Nice block off, and then again, just the smallest little step.
Definitely, that vault's only worth a 995, and she's got a career high on that of a 9925. So basically perfect.
Yeah.
Almost as perfect as you can get on that one. So again, another quick judges conference as we wait on Katie Harper for the Wolfpack. Katie, one of the bar and beam specialists.
Yeah, I think it's really important for her to just stay calm and in her own head right now, because they've done a great job building up this lineup and these scores, following a mistake. So we've seen a couple pressure situations already today. This is going to be another one of those, especially when you're anchoring. It almost feels like more pressure.
Definitely. Yeah, like you have to hit. It's one of those, the thing going through your mind is like you have to hit. But she also knows that if you think about the hit, that's typically when you miss. So you gotta take it one skill at a time.
Absolutely.
Katie, just a sophomore out of Columbus, Ohio, with 985 on bars last week. It'd be great if she could do that again.
Beautiful handstand to start the routine. Into that free hip, you're going to see a unique release move, which is a ginger. But so far, I've loved just how sharp she's been with her handstands.
I love the aggressiveness. It's a very aggressive bars.
Yeah, you can feel the confidence, even though she's doing a bar routine. Every handstand has been on top of the bar. Finishes with a double layout.
I'll take it.
Beautiful routine. I know, I was going to say the cherry on top would have been that stick, but it was the slightest little foot movement right there.
Slightest top.
Take a look right here. Just look at the handstand, how sharp. She's almost able to hold it for a half a second right there. And then it's like a pencil throughout.
As straight as you can. You see a lot of the double layouts with the arched body, kind of the overextension. Hers is very straight. As we take a look at the freshman out of Upper Borough, Pennsylvania, Lila Pileggi.
And she does another ear Chaco full. Just didn't quite have enough power off the table there. You could see she did go a little bit crooked and landed short. So that just comes from a lack of power and rotation throughout vault, which it's a lot harder than it sounds.
Definitely, and she was actually making her vault debut even in the exhibition spot. So typically in bars and beam, but we're gonna take a look at her on the vault. And then we've got Jenna Rusk in the exhibition spot for the Wolfpack team. As you see, the Panthers getting some words of encouragement from their coaches. Jenna Rusk, again, another one of the freshmen, really giving all of these freshmen across the board some great experience, building some of the depth within both of these teams.
That's such a crucial part of the sport as well. You have to have the depth in your lineups, especially with these gymnastic seasons being so long. So far, she does her release move, then back down to the bar with that overshoot. Back up to the high bar for that handstand. Then she does a front giant, which is also very unique. Into that double tuck, ends it with the stick. Beautiful routine.
So a great finish from Rusk on the uneven bars. You can see on the scoring tower to the right, NC State crossing that 49 mark. They actually tied the same score that they had last week at that 49-175. Pitt, again, scores a little bit lower, coming in at a 48.5 overall. And we are halfway through this competition. NC State in the lead with a 98-1, Pitt with a 97-3. Don't go anywhere. Coming back up, we've got a documentary on Victory Heights for the Pittsburgh Panthers.
us is a really fun, kind of intimate setting and competition arena. Our team loves competing in there, feels, homey and cozy.
It's so nice to be able to have all of our fans come in and be so close to the floor too. Yeah, it's loud, it's fun, and we're slowly getting the crowd involved. So yeah, it's a really good time.
It's such a great opportunity to be able to compete in the same place where legacies and traditions were created, and that brings such a great energy to the atmosphere.
I think it's going to be bittersweet to leave the Fitz, what we're comfortable and have known for so long, and very exciting for the team to be able to really perform in front of their home crowd in this new arena.
Welcome back. You're watching NCAA Gymnastics on ESPN. We are taking a look at the new building for this Pittsburgh Panther gymnastics team, which they are calling Victory Heights, due to open this fall. And just based on these renderings, this looks like a phenomenal atmosphere to train in and to compete in.
Yeah, it looks absolutely incredible. It's really cool to see the support and the resources that these athletes are getting in order to be successful.
Absolutely. Clemson also just building their state-of-the-art facility just a couple of years ago. NC State has completely overhauled Reynolds that they are competing in. So, like you said, a lot of investment into just the women's gymnastics program overall. There you see some additional information on the Victory Heights initiative and where this new Pittsburgh Panther team is going to be training and competing.
Here at NC State, by providing experiences, opportunities, exposure, and resources for Wolfpack.
So don't go anywhere. Rotation number 3 coming right up.
It was my first time. Representing the Pitt Panthers at regionals was just amazing. I wanted to be there with my team so bad, but this year will be our year. I'm looking forward to continuing the momentum on floor this year by just being as consistent as I was last year, hopefully upgrading my routine and just bringing the stats that I did last year. Getting more comfortable in a 3-pass routine, so I think just working harder and leading floor off on a great start and how I finished last year.
Welcome back inside Reynolds Coliseum. You are watching the Pittsburgh Panthers as they take on the 20th ranked NC State Wolfpack. Our gymnast spotlight there, Jalea Bedminster and Jordan Ewing, both making it to the NCAA regionals as individuals last year.
Yeah, really impressive, especially notice those 5 scores, those 8 scores, all of those 9-9s. Those are not easy scores to get, so really excited to watch them coming up on floor exercise.
Absolutely. So 2 regional individuals for the floor, and we get to watch them just here momentarily as Pitt starts rotation number 3 on floor exercise. NC State going to be competing on the balance beam, getting some final words of encouragement from Coach Kim Landers. This is the event that she coaches, and she has a phenomenal beam squad. You can see there Meg Adler. Again, she was the leadoff on vault. She's on the leadoff on beam, and then she'll be the leadoff again on the floor exercise. So a lot of confidence in this individual.
Yeah, I know we've said it before, and I always like to say beam sometimes can be that make or break event. So it's an event that you have to stay calm for. You've got to be so confident in your teammates and your lineup, but a lot of that pressure falls on your first athlete up, and Meg Adler has done a phenomenal job at this season being able to handle that.
A season high of a 9.8 out of the junior has appeared in every meet for this Wolfpack team since last year.
She's going to start with that acro series, that handspring back layout. Beautifully done there. There's a lot of requirements you have to have on balance beam, just like on every other event, but you'll see a combination of leaps and jumps and turns and acro series throughout each beam routine. You see she just did her leap combination right there. The judges want to see that 180-degree split throughout. That side aerial. She's She's just moving through this routine with such ease and confidence. Just has this switch side right there. So far, I've really enjoyed watching this routine.
I was just thinking, like, this is what she's used to doing. It's just another walk in the park for her.
Yeah, she's making it look real easy, and then does that gainer fall off the side. Solid routine for the Wolfpack. You see here again, the gainer fall off the side, is able to drop out of that, but couldn't get the stick right there, but she made up for it plenty throughout that routine.
That was just a great routine to kind of sit back and enjoy. So we're going to move right over to the floor exercise. Mika Lee, again, just a freshman in this leadoff spot. Prior to joining this Pittsburgh team, she was actually 5th in the nation on the floor.
She starts out with that front double full, which is a really difficult tumbling pass. It does have that blind landing in the forward direction, so that does make it a lot more difficult. Looked like she almost crisscrossed her feet a little bit, didn't quite get it all the way around, so we'll see a deduction on that. But throwing skills like that at this point in the season is still very impressive.
Absolutely. I've been loving this choreography as well.
Second tumbling pass, she does that whip half into the Rudy as well.
Routines just across the board is their theatrical performances. They have some leaps and jumps in them as well, but just the performance part of it has been phenomenal.
Yeah, I think that's what makes it so fun though, being able to show your personality. And you can see right here, she doesn't quite make it all the way around, but is able to pull it really quick. And then second pass right here, she does that whip half into the Rudy. Has to pike it down there. You can see her chest was down a little bit low, so the deduction is going to be on that landing right there as well.
So a great lead off by the freshman as we take a look at Maddie Hall for the Wolfpack. So far, she's competed in every meet on beam this season.
Starting off this routine with the back handspring, back layout afro. That looked easy. She does that cat leap into that leap combination there. A little bit of flexed feet throughout. You want to see those extended legs, extended toe point throughout as well. Does that front aerial. So far, so good. She does the gainer full on the side, ends it with the stick. Really nice beam routine. Again, you just want those routines to keep building and building after one another. You can see the aggro series. Just such confidence. She came up knowing that she nailed that. And then again with the gainer full off the side. Just nailed it.
So 2 for 2 for the Wolfpack on the balance beam. Emily Todd for the Panthers on the floor, the sophomore out of Bristol, England. She has not been in the floor lineup since week 1.
First pass with a huge double pike. She had a little too much power on that, so had to take a bigger lunge.
You're allowed to take that step out of your tumbling passes, but it does need to be controlled. Basically, the judges want to see if they needed to take the step or if they chose to take the step.
Right. You just saw that leap combination there, which is just as important as the tumbling that we're seeing as well. You get a lot of bonus from the tumbling, but also from the leaps and combinations. Now getting ready for her second tumbling pass here. She has a front tuck through to a double tuck. Landed short, but popped up really well to try and cover that. So nicely done there. A lot of explosive tumbling throughout that floor routine. Seeing two double pikes, or a double pike and a double back, two double back flips is really difficult. So you can see right here, she starts off with that double pike, gets great height, but you can see has to kind of slide back.
Yeah, so much power on that one.
And then the second pass right here, she does that front tuck through to the double tuck again. Does a good job, but you can see she breaks out a little early, but pops up. I love to see that cover up right there.
Ashley Knight for NC State on the balance beam. Knight been in and out of the beam lineup this year. She competed in the first couple of meets, but has not been in the beam lineup since January 10th.
Skill. She does a front walkover through to a front toss. Wow.
I don't know that I've ever seen that acro combination.
That is a very unique combination. I don't think I've seen that either, but I loved the height she got on that front toss. It was like she was just sitting in a chair.
Basically, yes.
Huge side aerial.
Able to save it.
Yeah, it looked like, again, the beam's only 4 inches wide, so it's very difficult, but she was just slightly off in her hips on that landing, but was able to save it. And then finishes with a really, on the end of the beam, you can just see how much power she has, because that is not an easy dismount, and the way she got the height, the spin, everything.
She has an uncanny forward tumbling ability, so we'll see it again here on this acro series. Very unique.
Front walkover, front toss, literally sits upright.
Love it.
I do really like that combination there. And then, again, the side aerial just looked like she was straight on, but then her hips just went a little bit.
Open the hips just a little bit, but the front tumbling out of Ashley Knight is phenomenal. We'll get to see more of that in her floor routine as we move right over to Elizabeth Cesarone on the floor exercise. The fifth-year student.
First tumbling pass, she does a running front full to the front layout. I liked how glued her legs and her feet were the entire tumbling pass there. Second tumbling run here. She does that run up by handspring. Double back, lands short on that. You can see that from her chest being down. The judges are going to take on that. It's almost better to have too much power to step backwards than showing that you're a little bit short.
Definitely, because that forward step means that there was probably a lack of height as well.
Right.
So it's kind of a double whammy when the judges put their pen to paper. But she does do 3 tumbling passes. So the first 2 gymnasts, only 2 tumbling pass routines. 3 definitely makes it a lot more difficult endurance-wise.
And that third pass was just that plain right up a handspring double back, which is difficult to end on, but she did a great job on that floor routine. Again, 3 passes. We also don't see that too often, I feel like, in college, quite as much anymore. So it's really nice to see the 3 there. And you can see right here, she does that double tuck and then just breaks out of it a little too early. And then the 3rd pass right here, another double tuck.
So very interesting, as I will be curious what the judges end up doing, as she did 2 of the exact same tumbling pass, which you could not typically do. She would have needed to do like a double pike and a double tuck because she entered and exited the same way. So I'll be really curious how they end up configuring this score. But while we wait on that, we'll take a look at Peyton Childs on balance beam.
Doing that back handspring back layout. We've seen a couple of those so far tonight. And everyone's done a great job just being able to stick them.
Peyton had that mistake on the uneven bars. I will say one thing I love to watch is angry beam. So she...
I was just going to point out how sharp she is throughout her dance. Like on her finishes, yes, but also on her dance. And I love the sharp gymnastics. I feel like it just looks so good. It looks so clean, and it just shows confidence.
You can't see it on her face, but the actions definitely show.
Right. She did that cat leap to that front toss. She's moving through this routine. Just has the dismount left. She's gonna do a back handspring into that gainer and lands with a stick.
A great redemption out of the senior from just down the road in Holly Springs.
You can see that front toss again, that sharp finish, and then that back handspring, gainer off the side, drops it in for a stick.
So a phenomenal job out of Childs. Back over to the floor exercise. We've got Jamie Pratt. So Pratt having transitioned from the Arkansas Razorback, now getting to compete in the all-around. She's only done vault and bars for the last few meets, so making her all-around debut today.
And it looked like she did that front layout into the front full. I'm not sure if she was supposed to break out of that or if she was supposed to do an extra twist and just broke out early.
The same thing.
Maybe got a little bit lost. We'll have to take another look at that after. Sometimes with those twisting and acro combinations, you need that to get that 10-0 start value for that bonus. So it's really crucial to be able to hit that. Next up, link past the 1.5 front layout, no problems there.
Gorgeous body positions across the 2 saltos that she did.
A nice finish to that floor routine. She was really bouncy on that last tumbling pass, which I really liked. You can see right here, she does that front layout, really long front layout. It kind of looked like she missed her punch. She definitely was supposed to probably do at least another half twist for that Rudy.
I agree.
And had to break out. So sure, she's not going to be too happy about that, but again, it's so much about the timing. You can see the timing on this tumbling pass was perfect.
No issues there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Jamie Pratt wrapping up on the floor exercise. Katie Harper, the sophomore out of Columbus, Ohio, for this Wolfpack team.
Something that you notice on everyone's routines is they're very different, but everyone just has their own rhythm. Nice back handspring and back layout.
Katie already posting 3 scores of a 9.8 plus in the first 5 meets this season.
toss there. Seems to be a popular skill. It is really difficult. Just a dismount left. That front tuck full. It's a blind landing. She does a nice job at making that hop minimal.
Just that tiny hop on the landing, but so far, some very strong beam routines out of this Wolfpack team.
You can see it from the end of the beam right here with that dismount. Straight on though, which is really impressive.
That is, so 5 up and 5 hits so far, which puts Chloe Negretti in a beautiful position to really just go out there and perform. We're gonna take a look at Jordan Ewing on the floor exercise as we wait for Jamie's score to come in. And this was one of the NCAA regional qualifiers on this event.
Excited to watch this floor routine. Just the explosive tumbling. First pass right here, 1.5 front layout. I don't think she even needed to step on that.
She definitely didn't need to step. Hoping to bring the entire team to regionals this year.
And that's a good goal. We've been on a ton of coaches calls, and that's really the forefront of the mind. What's it going to take? Where we want to set ourselves up to be in a good position come regionals, which has been really nice to hear. Huge double back tumbling pass on that. She did step out of bounds, so that's going to be an extra deduction there. But I really liked the rise throughout. Finish to that floor routine.
Loving the floor routine. Holds 2 of the Panther highs on the floor exercise at a 9.925. So just that unfortunate step out of bounds on that second pass.
Yeah, what I did like though is the rise she gets on that second pass. That's exactly how it's supposed to be right there. And then take a look at the height, the block right here. She definitely had plenty of time to break out, which again is a good spot to be in.
Good thing to have. She will be able to perfect that over the second half of this season. And Chloe Negretti on the beam.
One of my favorite routines to watch.
I was gonna say, I just want to sit back and watch.
Starts off with the front aerial to back handspring.
Those front to back combinations are so difficult, and she does it with ease every single time.
I think she could do this with her eyes closed.
Agree. Which is exactly what it's supposed to look like. It's supposed to look like it's easy, although it is definitely not.
And the biggest things throughout this routine have been not only the sticks, but also just the extension of the lines, the fingers, the toes, the straight legs, the toe point, all super impressive. And then we're gonna see double full dismount right here. Takes a slight hop back. Knowing her, she's gonna be upset about that.
Oh, 100%.
But that was a beautifully done.
And she's got 9.9 in the last 2 meets. I don't know if this one will be quite there just with that dismount because she has stuck that, but this was the 2024 ACC Beam champion, and I think we can see why.
Absolutely, and she does that double full dismount that we just saw right there. Not a lot of people are doing that dismount anymore in college gymnastics, so I love being able to watch that and see her.
And although it's not a blind landing, it is very difficult to stick.
Right.
All right, Jalea Bedminster, teammate of Jordan Ewing that made it to the NCAA regionals. Another fun one to watch.
I was gonna say, I think this is another one we can sit back and watch. Tumbling pass. Huge double back.
Love it.
Choreography and dance to watch as well. It's more fun when you can tell they're having a good time out there.
Yes. It's like, let me just dance into this corner and then throw a huge tumbling pass.
Exactly. She does that 1.5 to the front tuck. We've seen it a couple times, just the mishaps on the timing and the bounce. You're doing one skill, going from one skill to the next. You have to be able to find that punch and that timing. Sometimes it's just a little bit off.
Now
It can affect the whole pass.
It is interesting. NC State just got this floor, so they debuted this red floor last week prior to having the other one for, I don't know, 20 years, something like that. So it could be part of it not that it needs to get broken in, because a floor doesn't typically need to get broken in, but it kind of does.
Yeah, that is something that you wouldn't really think about, but could absolutely be the case. Love that first double tumbling pass right there, and then you just see that mishap on the bounce. But that does not take away from her personality and her dancing throughout.
She is having a great time out there. So one exhibition for both teams. This is Caroline Volk, who just had a new career high on bars of a 9.9 in the exhibition spot here.
Starting off the routine with this acro series. She's going to do a triple series, back handspring, back layout. It's the first triple series we've seen today. It's very difficult because you add in that extra back handspring there. Switch lead into that tuck 3/4. You could see she got some cheers for that. It's difficult needle to just hold like that on the balance beam. Another front toss. She's been able to move through this routine really well so far. Just has the dismount, the gainer fall off the side. Couldn't hold on to the stick, but
very close.
Nice finish to that. See this triple series again because it was so beautifully done. Back handspring, into the back layout.
Really
Nails
fights to
that.
pull it so she doesn't have that wobble on
Next
it.
on the floor, in exhibition.
And then does that gainer pull off the side. Had to have a little bit of a bigger squat there.
So a great job for Volk finishing up the Wolfpack beam routine as we take a look at Olivia Junta.
Getting ready for that first tumbling pass. We see another double back. I liked her landing on that. I said it before, but you can't have that lunge or that step back. As long as it's not forwards or too big, then the judges will not deduct. Second tumbling pass, that whip half into the Rudy. Is really difficult because of that cardio aspect. But a lot of them make it look easy.
They definitely do, and it's something they'll be looking at improving upon as the season goes on. So a great job out of Olivia in that exhibition spot. As we wrap up 3 out of 4 rotations, we're going to take a quick break and be right back and hear from Chloe Negretti on taking her final season.
This is Chloe's final year of competition, and I think it will be truly special for her. She has a great work ethic, and she's so passionate about the sport and what she does.
To come back for a final year, it was very much so, you know, why not? Like, I couldn't pass that up. I knew that if I turned it down, I'd be looking in 50 years in the future and always be wondering, you know, what if?
Looking back on Chloe's career, there has been so much personal growth.
I've been told a lot more that I'm a leader by example. That's really valuable to me because I do try to go in every day, do the work, and do the extra work too, even though if no one's asking.
Her entire collegiate career from day one to the very last day has taught her so much of just becoming Chloe.
Extends their lead over the Pittsburgh Panthers. There you see Chloe Negretti's career and just too many accolades to be able to actually fit on the screen.
Yeah, I think one of my favorites is that she set a record and then she broke her own record. So if that doesn't say anything, then I don't know what does.
Exactly. So ACC Specialist of the Year last year. She was also the beam and floor champion. We got to watch her just moments ago on balance beam. She will be the anchor on this Wolfpack floor team as well. And then, I mean, every time out she goes 9-9. So it is a rare occurrence when she gets below that.
Absolutely. I'm excited to watch this floor team.
So rotation number 4 coming right up. Don't go anywhere. North Carolina. We are really excited for rotation number 4. NC State, you can see they're leading with a 147.15. And Sydney, we've had some great gymnastics. There's been a couple of misses, but overall, both of these teams really improving across the season.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with, there have been some mistakes for each team, but they've done a great job being able to pull it back together and keep building that momentum. Each event in rotation has gotten better and better, so really looking forward to watching this last one.
I think it started off a little bit shaky on the first event, so Pitt on bars, NC State on the ball, but the second and third rotation, just a phenomenal. Led off right here by Ashley Knight.
Yeah, we see that huge vault. I was so excited when she stuck it. Absolutely just nailed it.
I was hoping for the 10 signs.
I know, right? And then we saw the huge bar routine from Caroline Volk here. She had a big release move and then does the dismount, the double layout, drops it in the stick. And huge smiles all across there.
She knows that was a good one. And then Maddie Hall on the balance beam. Just solid as can be.
I loved watching this routine. It was so graceful. She did each skill with such ease, like you mentioned, and then was able to lock that in with the stick as well.
So NC State finishing up their team touch on the floor exercise, trying to stay loose, get the crowd involved, pump up the energy. Pittsburgh going to end on the balance beam, which again is typically something that you wouldn't want to do, but they train for this and they know going into postseason, somebody's got to end on beam.
Right, and last weekend, Pitt was at Clemson. They ended on being there as well, being away, and they did a great job handling it. I do think that's really important to call out because it's not easy being in an away environment, the crowd's loud, and you got to go up and hit your beam lineup. So great job to them last week. Excited to see what they do tonight as well.
Especially as we said, Clemson had a sold-out arena, and I think Littlejohn holds 7,000 to 8,000 fans,
yeah,
something like that. So it is a large arena that they were competing in. So they will actually lead off because beam typically goes in front of the floor exercise. So they're going to get started with Kennedy Duke on the balance beam. So leading off with the senior there, you can see her beam average of a 9.725, career high of a 9.775, so just below that.
Ready to start off this routine with her acro series. That back handspring back layout. Looks like she had just a couple of feet mishaps there. Couldn't quite hang on to it. That's really tough to have that on your first skill as well, because you do have to finish the rest of your routine.
And then the rest of the lineup has to compete as well. But you'll actually see on beam, a lot of times the gymnasts in the lineup are not part of the crowd of gymnasts that are watching. They've actually got their backs turned or they're off in the corner, making sure that they stay in their zone. So some of them may have no idea that she actually fell.
Yeah, I always find that so interesting how each athlete is so different from that perspective. So I know I was always watching, but I know some athletes don't like to do it that way. Ends that routine with the round-up 1.5. So we saw a fall, unfortunately, and then a couple wobbles in that routine as well. Obviously, they're going to want to drop that routine, but they do still have 5 more that need to go up and hit as well.
Let's take another look at this dismount. Just the small hop on the landing.
She did a nice job being able to break out of it there.
So Meg Adler, 3 leadoff spots in her 3 events.
That is very impressive.
You see her floor average there, that 9.75. She went 9.8 last week on this event, so a great leadoff position for the Wolfpack.
Going to start off this routine with the front Rudy to straddle jump.
I don't know anybody that does a front twisting element bigger than Meg does.
I was gonna say, I really like how she could control the landing, because when you're connecting one skill to the next and you're that high in the air, it can be harder than you think. So she does a really nice job with that.
She just gets better and better every week.
About the choreography throughout all the routines, but it is a time where you can get creative and make up some dance and choreography that you want to do, and so that's always fun for the athletes as well to learn their new routines. And in the front fall to front layout, she's talked about it.
Love it. It really gets the crowd involved in her routine.
She starts out right here. Look at the height on the Rudy and the body shape throughout. So well done there. Straddle jump high as well. Then ends with that front full. She twists and breaks out of it in that straight body position to the front layout.
Phenomenal leadoff spot for the Wolfpack. They've got a 49.325 as their season best as a floor team, and we'll see if they can match that this afternoon. Emily Todd on the balance beam. Todd tied a Panther high on this event of a 9.9 last season.
Love that full turn there. Combination. Now she does that back handspring back layout acro series. Nicely done there. One thing to point out is most athletes do their acro series in the beginning. She did hers towards the end of the routine, so that is really impressive. You don't see that too often.
Always looking at composition, and the coaches do a really good job at knowing their athletes and knowing where they're going to feel most comfortable. But like you said, most would rather do the acro series and kind of get it out of the way.
And you can see the dismount there, the punch front full. We talked about that line landing. She did a nice job being able to minimize that to a small hop.
Ellie Hadrick for the Wolfpack matched her career high last week of a 9.85 on this event. Adler, you see there, improving on her score, coming in at a 9.825.
With their combinations. Your teammates doing the dance on the side as well.
Not only do you know your floor routine, you know everybody else's as well.
Exactly. Ready for this last tumbling pass here. She does that huge 1.5. That 1.5 was so high, and then she was able to match that on the punch front layout.
I love it.
Really well done there.
So a great floor routine from Hadrick. Adler with that 9.825. Hadrick looking to maintain or exceed that as we continue to build upon the scores.
Looking at the replay of those passes, huge 1.5, and then bounces right up. And then one of the most fun parts, the teammates doing it and laughing behind her. I love that.
Most of the coaches tell you to make eye contact throughout your routine, so why not have your teammates there to make eye contact with? So back over to the beam, Mika Lee, the freshman out of Alaska, been a staple in this beam lineup for the Panthers.
Starts with that back handspring back layout. Had a wobble there, but was able to stay on and save it. There's that cat leap into the switch side. We've seen a bunch of different jumps and leap combinations. And we mentioned earlier that 180-degree split is what they want to see with that good execution, which is the toes pointed, the legs straight. So far, she's done a really nice job moving through this routine, ending it with that round off 1.5, and is able to finish that with just a small step on that dismount. So again, that's exactly what they're looking for, and that's what Pitt wants right now.
Definitely. So Emily Todd, a hit routine. Mika Lee, a hit routine. Really hoping to be able to drop that 8.9 out of Duke in the leadoff spot.
See there, the dismount, able to hold on to a small hop.
Went 9.75 on her routine last weekend, so hopefully another good one out of Lee. As we jump back over to floor, Krista Zoltovich hasn't competed since vault almost 2 hours ago.
Yeah, that is something interesting and important to note, because these athletes have to be able to stay warm and move around if they're not doing all 4 events. So, which is the case for most gymnasts, right?
I'm sure Krista has stayed warm in the cheering squad for bars and beam.
One of my favorite tumbling passes, that 2.5, and she pops up that front tuck every single time.
Such a blast on for the graduate student.
line to the judge there. She's gonna end with a huge double back. Chest up on that landing. What an enjoyable floor routine with some explosive tumbling. Well done.
Absolutely huge tumbling passes. I think she did a great job covering up that last tumbling pass, the little extra step backwards.
Like I said, on that 2.5, one of my favorites to watch. She does the twisting so well, but then the punch is always spot on, and then that double back.
Holds herself upright and does not move that front foot. Does a great job. You can tell that's a veteran move, so being a graduate student, she's done this a couple of times. This is Darby Simcox.
She does that turn on the beam. It looks really cool, but it actually, in my opinion, is one of the most difficult skills you can do on balance.
It is so difficult. And then there's gymnasts that do a double and a triple.
Yeah.
That again, make it look so easy, and it is not.
It's insane. That requires, I know it's called balance beam, but that requires extra balance.
Extra balance. And more muscles than you probably think it would.
Even know that you have, exactly.
Yes. Darby, another freshman, so 2 freshmen back-to-back on this team. They'll have another one in the exhibition spot.
Does that switch leap into the regular leap there. Love the wink there.
Super fun so far.
She did that right into the camera too. Pretty difficult to do on balance beam, and ends with that gainer stick. I think my favorite part might have been the wing.
The wing.
You can see the spin we're talking about earlier. She does the turn, and look, goes all the way around. You can see how tiny the beam is there, and her foot does not move.
You have to be so centered.
And then ends with that fall off the side, drops it in for a stick.
I always like to imagine on those wolf turns that people are in their living rooms trying it just because they think it looks cool.
I think I've tried it on the floor a couple times, and I can't do it, so.
We'll take a look at Ava Myers on floor.
See some big tumbling out of her right here, starting with a double back. That did look a little too easy for her there. Nice job.
Not bad for her floor debut. So Ava, we've got to take a look at on vault and floor making her debut today.
Floor is always such a fun event to show off and to get the crowd involved. We have so many NC State fans here. It's fun to see everyone getting into the floor routines and the dance, and the cheering.
There's a great view of the rest of the team doing it. So you have to perform your routine the best, but you definitely know another 15 to 17 floor routines.
She finishes with a front layout to a Rudy. It looked like she floated in the air during that.
Love it. A fantastic debut out of the freshman.
Notice right here on her double back, first tumbling pass, the height she gets and just drops out of it. No problems there. And then second pass, she does that front layout. Timing was spot on into that Rudy. She lands upright, just like what they want to see. It's very exciting for her.
That was a super fun routine and a fantastic entry into the floor lineup. As we move it back over to the balance beam, Jamie Pratt. Jamie's 4th and final event today.
She does another triple series that we're going to see back handspring, back layout. It looked like on that second back handspring, her hips were a little turned, and so she had to take a fall on that.
So now the hard part with this is they've had a fall out of both Pratt and Duke, so one of those scores will have to count. So Jamie, she's still got to put her best foot forward. Even if it's a low 9 score, then they're going to want to count that.
Yeah, this is what we talk about when we say every 10th counts. You never know which score is going to have to count for the lineup spot. So a 10th can make all the difference in the world. It's really important to be able to get back on the beam, stay focused. They do practice for situations like this. And so that 1.5 drills the landing on that.
So a great stick, a solid finish, but you can definitely tell she's a little upset over this acro series.
You can see here, just was off right there. Couldn't quite hold on. And then that 1.5 dismount. Love the landing on that, though.
Please welcome Ashley Knight.
So Ashley Knight on floor exercise for this Wolfpack team. Again, another one that is just so enjoyable to watch.
That's what I was gonna say. One of my favorite floor teams to watch as well. We're gonna see some big tumbling from her right here. Starting off with that front double fall. That is a really difficult skill because of the 2 twists, but also the blind landing.
She has competed in every floor lineup since the season opener her freshman year.
I love being able to just watch her confidence grow, meet by meet, routine by routine. Even throughout her choreography here.
I have noticed she definitely performs more this year.
But that's part of the sport. Those are the cool things that you get to see and watch.
She had 9.925 last weekend on this event.
Getting ready for her last pass here. She's gonna do a Rudy into a back layout step out. And it was so high in the air. She did a back tuck instead. Not sure if that's gonna take away from the bonus, but that did not take away from the height that she got. See the first pass right here, she does the front double full, breaks out so easily. And then the second pass, she does that Rudy and punches and does a back tuck. Again, she usually does a back layout step out, so not sure if that's gonna be more of a deduction
Maybe
there.
a timing thing, maybe some body position in the air. But she does normally do that back layout step out, so.
Great job, though, being able to stay on track and finish it out.
So in the final spot, this is Juliet Madso. She's a sophomore out of Asker, Norway. Made her beam debut last week. Did a solid 9.7.
We've seen that back handspring, back layout a bunch of times already tonight. She's moving really nicely for this beam routine. It's hard when there's been mistakes in the beam lineups and you're really trying to fight for every single 10. But she's done a good job and then ends with a stick.
So a great job in the anchor position for Madso. It's a little tough when there's been 2 falls in the lineup prior to that, but she did exactly what she's put in this spot to do.
Yeah, again, not an easy situation to be in, but came out with a hit.
And here she is, the graduate out of Frisco, Texas, holds the record with the most 9-9s on this Wolfpack team. ACC floor champion.
This is another sit back and watch routine. I do want to point out though, when I think of Chloe, I just think of fierce. You can see it in her eyes. First Humphrey pass. Watch the height on the double pike.
The music is so fitting for her.
That's how you can tell she's a veteran, when the timing is just spot on, that air awareness, so accurate. Next Humphrey pass here, she does the front full. Front layout, again, another drop in there. I don't even think she needed that step. Combination there. Last pass. It's going to be a huge double tuck here. Drops it in. What a nice finish to that floor routine.
Love it. Absolutely phenomenal. Ashley Knight went 9-9. I'm really curious what they'll do with this floor routine.
Thinking it's going to have to be at least a 9-9 as well. Look at the height and just the body position. I mean, she just drops it right in on the landing. And then again for the front layout. It's so controlled. That's how you know she's a pro. And then Anza with the double tuck. Takes the smallest little shuffle. That's
the main deduction. Yeah, absolutely. So the exhibition on balance beam, Lila Pileggi. Again, the third freshman in this lineup.
Wobble there on that acro series, but was able to stay on, which is important. A pike jump into that split three-quarters combination there. I don't think I've seen a pike jump in a while.
I haven't either.
Front tuck on balance beam. It's a really difficult skill right there. Bunch tucked front full there. Slight step forward. But nice job.
So great job out of the freshman, just that minor wobble, a good solid routine that the Panthers may be able or may need to use later on down the road. So always good to get some experience, particularly on the balance beam. NC State's got an exhibition as well. Katie Harper, that we've already seen a couple of times this afternoon.
Pass right here. She does a 1.5 to the front layout. Had a lot of power on that, so she did a good job being able to keep it in bounds there. Full jump combination right there.
So far, a great routine. And giving the Wolfpack team a little bit additional depth if they ever need it.
to punch 1.5. Nice routine.
So a fantastic finish for the Wolfpack team. A solid hit out of Katie Harper in the exhibition spot. You can see there on the scoring tower, NC State ties their season high of a 49.325. Being able to drop a 9.825, anything over a 9.8 is a fantastic opportunity to be able to drop. So that concludes the final rotation. Don't go anywhere. We've got Coach Landris, floor side, coming right up. Welcome back as we conclude the number 20 NC State Wolfpack taking on the Pittsburgh Panthers and coming out with a win. We are joined floor-side by head coach Kim Landris. Congrats on the win this afternoon. Some rock star performances. Out of all of them, what really stood out to you?
Honestly, just we talked about today with it being our pink meet that it was going to be more than a meet and we were just going to be one and compete for something larger than ourselves. So I think just the whole meaning of today is what meant so much.
Absolutely, they did a phenomenal job.
Coach, Ashley Knight on vault, huge vault, and then ends it with the stick. We've been waiting for that one. Tell us your thoughts and just about that, what that means.
I mean, I think it just riled everybody up. We know that Ashley's capable of that, and she shows it in the gym. She has shown it in competition. So it just, honestly, it just fuels us and gets us really amped for the next event.
Absolutely.
And then what's the plan for next week? What do we work on?
You know, we just try to get 1% better every day. So we'll have a couple days of practice, and then we're really excited to go to Clemson.
Fantastic. We'll let you go celebrate with your team. Thanks for joining.
Thank you so much.
And that does it for NC State. Again, wrapping up, taking the win against the Pittsburgh Panthers. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned for the award ceremony in just a few moments.
All right, fans, before we announce tonight's final results, let's hear it for both teams tonight. And now for tonight's final results, here are our top finishers. On the vault, with a final score of 9.90 from NC State, Ashley Knight. On the uneven bars, with a score of 9.90 from NC State, Caroline Volk. On the balance beam, with a score of 9.85 from NC State, and we had a tie with 9.850 from Pitt, Julie Matzo, and from NC State, Maddie Hall. On the floor exercise, with a final score of 9.90 from NC State, Ashley Knight. For the all-around, with a final score of 38.075. From Pitt, Jamie Pratt. And fans, tonight's final team results. In second place with a score of 193.60, the University of Pittsburgh. And in first place with a final score of 196.475, your NC State Wolfpack. Fans, on behalf of NC State Athletics, we'd like to thank you for attending tonight's meet and your continued support for your Wolfpack gymnastics team. Please have a great evening. Don't forget, we'll see you right back here at Reynolds Coliseum on Friday, February 21st, as your Wolfpack